Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of Tim and Shane Try Everything. We got a good bottle here for you today that Shane picked up the other day. It is the re-release to the world of the Evan Williams Single Barrel. Now I'm excited. I'm pretty excited to try this because I had the last one that came out, and I think that was 2013. So I'm kind of pumped. I know they're single barrels, but I'm kind of pumped to see what this rendition is like.
Yeah, it's been, I think it was 2 years ago, or 2022. I think it was like late spring, early summer when Heaven Hill said that it was going to be a Kentucky only thing.
Yep.
I mean, before that, it was relatively easy to get a hold of. It wasn't hard. It's a still $25 to $35 bottle.
Right.
And this bottle in particular is 9 years old.
Yeah.
Just over 9 years.
And I think that's about what the other ones were too.
Yeah, when they started, from what if I read it right, is the early ones were 10 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then they went to 9, and as they started to have supply issues, they started going. The average was 7 to 8.
Okay, wow.
So that's when they pulled it to Kentucky only, and then they just brought it back this year. And I think I've looked around a lot on YouTube and even on the internet, and I think we might be some of the first people that actually put out a review on the re-release part. So that's kind of cool, and I'm glad that it's back.
Right, and for reference, this is barrel number 250.
Yep.
So,
and they tell you that it's specific barrel and small release, probably 250 out of a million.
Right. Yeah. Well, knowing the size of Heaven Hill, I mean, they got a couple barrels lying around.
Yeah, but the coolest thing is, man, you're talking about a $30-some. I think I paid just over $30 for 9-year.
Yes.
Single barrel. That's tough to do.
Right.
Especially if the stuff ends up being good. And it was good a couple years ago, so I don't think much has changed.
Absolutely. Give her a roll.
The old twirl. Yeah.
Smells like Heaven Hill. And,
Yep, it does. Good, like honey. I get a lot of honey and that nice oak char.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certainly, I'll be straight up with you guys. Tim has been doing this a little longer than I have. I wouldn't say my nose is as nuanced as Tim, so I'm gonna get the first. When I sniff it, I'll give you the most obvious thing out of there, because the rest of it I'll be like, yeah. When he says, I smell this, I'll be like, yeah, okay, yeah, I smell that too.
Yeah.
I certainly you get the honey, and oakiness smell.
Yep, little caramel. I'm getting some leather on there.
Sure. I mean, this stuff's 86. What is the proof on this? 86.6. So there's almost no real alcohol.
No. You're not. Yeah, you're not even getting. I'm not even getting any, ethanol fumes.
Right. Man, it smells nice.
Yeah.
Give her a rip.
Let's give her a rip.
All right. So it's surprisingly got a little bit of. It's not a sting.
No.
But for 86.6, you get a nice little heat.
Little Kentucky hug, as they say.
Yeah. That's good. You get the flavors. The flavors carry over from the nose.
I think so too.
I get a good citrus, almost like orange citrus zest.
Sure. A little bit in there. I'm getting a lot of the grains.
Sure.
It's pretty
classic Heaven Hill-ish.
Yeah.
Almost. The graininess, nuttiness, almost kind of. I guess I would say it.
Mm-hmm. I think of any of the Evan Williams that I've had, this stays consistent. It has a lot of the same qualities that standard classic, bourbon profile.
Yeah, I think just for the price, man, that it's not a weak bourbon. It's not.
No.
It's. I'm not going to say it's complex.
Certainly,
but it's got a nice finish. It doesn't just dry out right away.
Yep.
And it is relatively smooth, light proof, obviously, but man.
This is my first sip of the day, so it's going to be a little...
Sure.
Even at 86 proof, it's going to drink a little hotter, but...
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's kind of how I remember it. I still have a. I don't remember what my. Oh, there's my old bottle. It's 2012. And it's it's very, it's very similar. It's
Yes.
That price point for a 9-year-old. I keep saying that, but that's really that's the kicker.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I've had worse bourbons for double the price of this.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll get into that too, but you know, there's a lot of allocated stuff out there that, you know, value-wise doesn't come even close. But
Yeah.
you know, I think my bottle is a 2013.
Is it?
That was barrels. We might have to do a not necessarily a blind, but we might have to compare the different years. Granted, they're single barrels, but let us know in the comments if you want to see that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm glad it's back, man.
Yeah, me too.
I'm telling you. I mean, obviously for that price, that's a daily drinker if you want it to be. I mean,
Yes.
easy, and you're not feeling bad about making that a mixer if you want, especially now that it's back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I was milking that one because I thought I was done buying it.
Right. You didn't know if you'd ever get it again. Thank you, whoever made that decision at Heaven Hill to put that stuff back out on the market.
Yep.
You know, as I wouldn't say we're bourbon connoisseurs, but as guys that like good bourbon, you know, we can definitely appreciate that.
Yep.
But
I'm not a professional by any means. Tim isn't a professional.
No.
So we're kind of two regular guys
Yeah.
that are, you know, tasting stuff. And I, when I look for these videos, I want to hear a real opinion on stuff.
Yep.
I don't want to, it's sugar coated,
Yeah.
you know. I'm not a bourbon connoisseur. I'm not a world-class taster, and Tim isn't either.
No.
And we're giving you our honest opinion on what we're spending our own money on.
yes.
So, I'm gonna tell you like it is. So I think the nose on this stuff, I thought the nose was nice. Like I said, not ultra complex.
No.
But for the money, I mean, man, I'd give it a 7.
Yeah. I would say for value and taste, I would even go a little higher at a 7.5.
All right, fair enough.
And I'm even now that I'm sitting here and smelling it some more, I'm getting some of those I'm getting some fruit candy notes, almost like a sweet tart, almost like you'd get, almost like that sweet tart thing that you'd get on like a Buffalo Trace.
Okay.
I get a little bit of that.
Yeah, I get that too. I might be kind of calling that my citrus thing,
Yeah,
but I can
that
get
could
that zesty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you absolutely do get that.
It's not quite as punch you in the face as when I smell Buffalo Trace, and I think Trenton on the SOB Drinks channel.
Mm-hmm.
He always says, and I think that's where I got it from. But man, it is in your face grape sweet tarts for Buffalo Trace, but
Yeah.
this is not like that at all. It takes that candy note and it wraps it around with the tobacco and a little bit of pepper and that a little bit sweet vanilla caramel thing going on.
Sure.
But
Yeah, it's actually surprisingly it's balanced.
yeah,
It's not like one thing's too heavy. It's not like when you get into some of these and it's real oaky
Mhm.
or real charred wood or
Yeah.
real. It's really balanced, man.
and especially at that 9-year, that 9-year mark, sometimes you start to get into some of those more intense oak.
Sure, even
Yeah,
over
notes.
oak.
Yes.
I mean, that's
Yeah, it's a good balanced sit, man. Like you said,
yeah.
great for daily drinker.
Yep. So, what do you think on the flavor, on the taste? You go first.
Okay. On the taste, I'm gonna be honest. I think the nose is a little bit better than the taste. So I'd probably have to go with a 6.75 on the taste.
Okay.
And that certainly doesn't mean it's bad at all. It's just I get a little less on the palate than I do on the nose.
Sure, I would agree. I'm trying not to base my judgments off of value.
Yeah,
Then
true.
it'd be like 10-10-10.
That's true. That's true.
But
That's true.
I'm gonna say similar. I'm gonna give it a 7 too. I mean, I
Okay.
think it's. I just think I think the nose is actually more. Almost think the nose is more complex and balanced than kind of the flavor.
Absolutely.
But the flavor still is classic bourbon.
Yes,
and
it
it's
is.
classic Heaven Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going any lower than a 7. I think that's nice.
Yeah.
And then the finish, I'm personally, I'm gonna go with an 8.
Okay.
I think it's a decent lasting finish.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like harsh tannin
No.
aftertaste. There's no weird aftertaste. It's kind of like everything that you sipped is just kind of fading away,
Mm-hmm.
and it's taking a minute.
Yeah,
it's
it
not.
does.
It is not a weak bourbon. 86.6. You're gonna look at that and be like, oh man, that's pretty soft.
Right.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
full flavor.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yep.
So I'm giving the finish an 8. That's the
Okay. Yep. I'm gonna. I don't remember what I said for the
6.75 for the taste.
for the taste.
And
I
7
think
for the nose for you.
I think 7.5.
7.5
Yeah.
for the nose. Yeah, you like the nose a little
Yeah.
better in taste, actually.
I think, and so I think I'm gonna go back up to the 7. I'm gonna give it a solid 7 for the
Alright.
finish. It's like you said, it's lingering, and it's nothing. It's kind of just it sticks with you a little bit, but it fades nicely. You know,
Yeah.
there's no harshness to it. Even that kind of graininess that I got on the palate initially really fades into some nice balanced leather, tobacco,
Yep.
you know, some of that barrel char. It just kind of blends out really nicely.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think overall you're looking at our scores just off the top of my head. You're talking 7.5 bourbon.
Yeah.
And for now the value, I mean, I almost want to
Right,
rate some
11.
of these. Yeah, that's off the scale. Man.
Yeah.
I mean, for that kind of money,
Yeah.
even at a 7, man, that's a buy.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, if they keep that stuff around, I'm buying it.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you see one on the shelf, don't hesitate to pick it up because
Yeah.
man, they are delicious.
Yep.
And well worth it.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll speak for both of us. I'd say we take some of our cues from the channels. You know, we get inspiration from the channels we watch. That's
Yeah.
why we wanted to start doing it.
Yep.
And I do respect. There's certain guys that I'm not going to mention them yet, but there are guys that I have a lot of respect for that do put a lot of thought into the value of it.
absolutely.
And it's not everybody's rich, man.
No.
You know, we're like I said, we're everyday guys, and
Yep.
I want to spend my money on something that I like, and I'm going to tell you guys that too, because
Mhm.
you know everybody's taste is different. Every channel is going to tell you that. You're going to like stuff that we don't. We're going to like stuff that you don't. But I'm going to tell you the truth of what I think about this
Same.
stuff, and value is important. I'm probably going to mention value on bottles. You know, if I spend $120 on a bottle and it's crap,
Yeah.
I'm going to let you know, man.
Yep.
So.
And that's the way to be, I think. You
Yeah.
know, there's no sense in doing it otherwise. But
Yeah.
I think that's going to about wrap us up here for today. Thanks for tuning in to our first episode here on Tim and Shane Taste